Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. My name is Joe and today I'm going to be constructing the perfect team for double game week 33. Well, whether you think that is perfect is another matter, and please do leave your views about the best players that you think will get you the points in game week 33 in the comments section below. First of all, this is as if I had a free hit team. Some are actually playing their free hit this week, so this will be really useful for you, but it's essentially looking at the best players for the game week. So that's fine if you've just got transfers to use. It's also, there's quite a few bench boosts being played this week. So I take in the best players for that as well. So I've got a couple of free hit drafts for 33 to look at with the bench boost in mind. Okay, hope that makes sense. Lots of chips being played. I'll also look at the best players in terms of non-penalty XGI, best captaincy, and of course, we'll look at the fixtures, see who's got the best matchups as well. Before we get stuck in, please do press that like button. It really helps us out. And do remember to subscribe. Keep up to date with our latest videos and podcasts. Okay, let's have a look at the fixtures. Okay, so this shows, I've sorted this by difficulty in the Fantasy Football Scout members area. It's got the season ticker there. You can sort by difficulty. So I've just isolated game week 33 and done that. Obviously, it's those with a double game week figure top. You can get 2 bites of the cherry. Arsenal have the best. They've got Ipswich away and then Crystal Palace at home. Crystal Palace could be heavily rotated for that one. Arsenal could be heavily rotated for the Ipswich one. But that is the minefield that you're playing with a double game week. Man City have Everton away, then Aston Villa at home, and sort of second best matchup there. So I'm interested in players from those two teams. Aston Villa's match double up is pretty tricky, actually. They got Newcastle at home and then Man City away. They're quite hard to call. They could do really well, their assets, particularly their attacking assets. I don't like their defensive assets for that one. And Crystal Palace is pretty mixed as well. They've got Bournemouth at home. That could go, once again, I'm not sure how that could go. Bournemouth could be coming into a bit of form at the moment. And then they got that Arsenal away, but that's before the FA Cup game, so I don't know what team you're going to get there. So I like Arsenal, Man City, Aston Villa and Crystal Palace, obviously, assets got to be dealt with. But look at all these fixtures for the single game weekers. West Ham, home to Southampton, brilliant fixture. Liverpool, away to Leicester, brilliant fixture for the likes of Salah, Bradley as well, really a bargain defender there. Maximum bonus at the weekend. And then, Bournemouth themselves against Crystal Palace could do well. A lot of their assets, Semenyo got on the score sheet earlier this week, could do well again. Wolves, Cunha could be back in the starting lineup against Manchester United. Ain't Nori could be a good option. Strand Larson, Brentford, Brighton could be goals in that game. Quite evenly matched game, I think. Chelsea, Fulham, that's hard to call as well. And then the rest of the fixtures are pretty poor, including Newcastle as well. So we've got a lot of Newcastle assets in our team. So once again, free hit team, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Okay, so they're the fixtures there, which highlights the double game weeks that we're looking at. So what I've got here is a table of the best players sorted by expected goal involvement, non-penalty. The last 6 matches. When you factor in penalties as well, that obviously gets the likes of, say, Asensio, who missed 2, who's in my team, annoyingly. But he actually just misses out on here, but his minutes per expected goal involvement anyway, is non-penalty is still around 161 minutes or so. So he's still amongst some of the best. But I cut it off at 10. Just go for the top 10. But the likes of it does not mean that other players like Asensio, for example, other players that you're looking at who aren't on this list, doesn't mean they're bad players at all. KDB, for example, it just means they're not in the top 10 minutes per expected goal involvement. But we'll talk about a lot of those players, and I'll look at the Rate My Team tool as well, which is on Fantasy Football Scouts members area again. It's that's the sort of what the robot thinks will be the best scoring players of the week. Okay, so top player in terms of minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty, with only 2 starts. So I've done at least 2 starts for this one, and they've got to have an attacking return. It's actually Marcus Rashford, Aston Villa. He's 6.7. Even if he doesn't start, he is number 1 for penalties. So if he's on the pitch and there's a penalty, he'll take it. In theory. But those fixtures aren't so good. Also, with Aston Villa assets like Asensio, Watkins, I think it doesn't matter if they don't start because they can come on in that last 20, 30 minutes and they can do well. They can get double-digit returns in that time as well. Rodgers is probably the guy, the X minutes guy, and he's getting attacking returns. But it's Rashford who's top here. His ownership's only in 7.4% of teams, a couple of assists and a goal, 7 shots inside the box. Just those 2 starts, doing really well, 23 points. Over those 2 starts and sub appearances. Evan Nielsen, though, he is not a double game weeker, but pretty strong. Minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty. His last 6 matches he has played, every 101 minutes, pretty much goal involvement a game. 4 goals over his 6 games. Brilliant. 16 shots inside the box, 7 on target as well. Harvey Barnes obviously doing really well for Newcastle, but once again he's against Villa, and it's not a double game week player, so I can't see him in many teams this week. But if you still got him in your team, keep him and perhaps field him. 108 minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty of 108 minutes. That's really strong. Ownership, he's only in hardly any teams, just 2% of teams. He's got 2 assists and 5 goals and 3 goals. That's 5 attacking returns over his last 6 matches. That is brilliant, especially with 16 shots inside the box. Just 5 on target though. Those who remember the Sky game will know that's what Harvey Barnes is about. He shoots all the time, hardly any on target, or they just go into the goalkeeper's arms. But a lot are actually going in the net this time around. Saka at Crystal Palace is actually the highest here. I know Eze is getting those attacking returns, but it's Saka who's posting the minutes per expected goal involvement non-penalty. He's got 3 goals and an assist in his last 6 matches. 8 shots inside the box, 4 of those on target. So still pretty strong, and he's created 9 chances. So yeah, I've got him in my team. I'll be playing him, obviously, and hoping for the best. Murphy at Newcastle, another Newcastle's stars this season. He's got 37 points. He only cost 5.2. He's got 2 assists and 3 goals, like Harvey Barnes. 5 attacking returns, but just 5 shots inside the box. So is that sustainable? I am not sure. But he's doing really well. He's chipping away with the points every week. In that, I'm probably just a salty non-owner there. But Murphy is a really, really strong asset there, and he's already in 17% of teams, and that's much higher amongst engaged managers. Next name up is a double game weeker. It's Saka. Minutes per expected goal involvement every 124 minutes, so pretty strong in his last 6 matches he's played. He's obviously only started 3 times, but he's had a couple of sub appearances recently. 6 shots inside the box, but this just underlines what a player he is. I mean, he got an attacking return as soon as he came back, got a goal as soon as he came back from injury. But yeah, I think he'll. So looking at the fixtures, I think with Arsenal, it's Ipswich away. That's the one you want him in, but that's the one he might be benched in. Crystal Palace at home might be a bit more advantageous. It's annoying at the moment with Arsenal assets, but at the moment he's my bus captain at the moment. And by bus team, I mean it's my team in case I get run over by a bus. So yeah, I hope he gets the minutes. Diaz at Liverpool, I really like. He's away to Leicester. That looks a strong fixture, very, very strong fixture for him. Diaz and Salah. Probably wondering why Salah's not on this. He just doesn't make the minutes per expected goal involvement non-penalty. I mean, he is still quite strong. It's still well within under 200 minutes there. It's just Diaz is much higher here. So Salah, great option. And it could be a great captaincy option as well against Leicester, especially because he's on penalties. Diaz, by the way, has had 13 shots inside the box, created a mammoth 21 chances, most on our list. We've got Palmer here. I think people have had enough of Palmer. He's just not getting the returns for that price. I got rid of him a little while ago. I got rid of him for Saka, and to be honest, even though Saka's barely played, he's pretty much matched Palmer. So over that period, 17 FPL points. Sketch over him. Cunha is of interest, especially if you're making transfers and haven't got a free hit, for example, in 34. It looks like a strong captaincy option in Game Week 34 when a number of teams blanked as well. But great option here. And this just shows, he came back from his suspension, got an attacking return. Hopefully he should get some starts soon. 12 shots inside the box, 4 goals in his last 6 appearances, minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty every 132 minutes. And finally, it's Marmoush, another good captaincy shout as well, because those fixtures, Everton and Aston Villa, I don't like the Everton one because Everton's defence is really good at the moment. But Aston Villa, yeah, that could be some returns there. He's only 7.6, but he's had 33 FPL points, minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty every 134 minutes, had 10 shots inside the box, 10 on target. Every single one of his shots there is on a target. That possibly may include some shots from outside the box as well. But yeah, that's really strong performance there. Look at Cunha as well, by the way. 12 shots 12 shots inside the box, 12 on target. These are the guys you want in your team. They just shoot, and they shoot accurately, and that's gold in this game. Okay, let's have a look at a couple of free hit teams, a couple of free hit drafts. Is probably the key reason why you're here. So this is if I've got a free hit. So think of this. I've done it as if I've got a bench boost. You can't actually free hit and bench boost the same week, but let's pretend we can. So the best players for bench boost. So my team value is 105.5 million. I'm 0.1 typically short for this particular team here, but some of you will have a higher team value than me. Some will have a lower team value, so you can look to cut corners here. So Saliba down to Kiwior, perhaps. Raya down to Martinez. You can look at Eze down to Sarr. You can perhaps trim the bench a little bit. I'll read out the team in a minute. So if you're listening to the podcast version, I've got Visser on my bench here as a bench boost striker at home to Brighton. You could go for Evan Nilsson, who has got that Crystal Palace game for Bournemouth as well. So I think that's another strong option, especially because he's doing really well in that table I've just shown. Okay, so this is the team that I like. It's got a 99% rating on I've used the FPL Planner tool on the app, Fantasy Football Scout. Its expected points are 97. That's not including the bench boost. So obviously you can add up the bench boost there. So that's another 7, 12, 13. So about 16, 17 points more if it was on a bench boost. So if you were bench boosting this team, you would be expecting minimum 114 points in theory. So I've gone for Raya in goal, got Ipswich and Crystal Palace, and I've doubled him up with Saliba, Ipswich, Crystal Palace. I've doubled up Man City defence. I don't know who to get for the midfield. I like Marmoush. So who else? Gvardiol and Diaz look the best ones, that are the most assured for starts. And this is a 4-4-2, but obviously it's got a bench boost as well. And I've gone for Munoz as well, just for that attacking threat. I don't think there's going to be any clean sheets for Crystal Palace. Bournemouth and Arsenal, both attacking sides, but could get an attacking return there. I've gone for Eze. I mean, I haven't quite got the money, but you might have here. But go for Sarr if you can't afford him. But once again, I think there's attacking returns there for Crystal Palace. Mohamed Salah, I've got in. I mean, I think he's my vice captain. He's a captaincy shout away to Leicester. Just signed the new contract. Saka, according to the planner tool, has got the most expected points, 12 points expected to get there. So he's my captain. For Aston Villa, I've gone for Rodgers just for the minutes there. I mean, I've got Asensio in my own team. I think Asensio, Rashford, Rodgers are all good options there. Just take your pick which ones you want to go. Rodgers for the minutes, Asensio for the thrill of missing a penalty. Rashford, but he's got good attacking threat anyway. And Rashford for the penalties and also attacking threat. I've got for Watkins as well. Start or not, he's just doing the business. He's just chipping away. He's getting the points. He's just a good striker. Don't like the fixtures from a defensive point of view, which is why I don't have an Aston Villa defender in this draft. But Watkins there, expected to get 7.3 points, a bit over 7 points. So Newcastle, Man City could get returns. And Marmoush, I think, is a captaincy shout here. It's an Everton game I don't quite like, but I do quite like the Aston Villa game there for Marmoush. So it's a 4-4-2 then. So on my bench, I mean, you could get some more double game week players. I mean, I'm bereft of Aston Villa defence, for example, but I think there's some really good single game week options like that West Ham game, that Liverpool game at Leicester, the West Ham against Southampton. Brentford Brighton, I think there's going to be goals in that one as well. So I think there's definite options here. So I've gone for Areola in goal, home Southampton. Who's going to get a clean sheet? I think he's a really good bench boost goalkeeper. I've actually got Bowen as my. I mean, look at that. At home to Southampton on my bench, I think that looks good. I'd be really hopeful of returns there. And Visser, I've gone for there because I think that Brighton game against Brentford. I think Pedro would be good. And Evan Nilsson are rather good single game week options there. If you think there's going to be rotation with Crystal Palace, you could go for Nketiah. Now, you're probably looking at this thinking, why is there no Mateta? Well, that's because the comments made by Glasner at the weekend were because he removed Mateta to change formation slightly. He regrets changing the formation, but he doesn't regret removing Mateta. He said Mateta was losing duels. I mean, you're looking, like Quansah at Liverpool. That's pretty damning criticism, especially if you've seen Mateta. If he's losing duels, then there's a problem because he's usually the biggest guy on the pitch. I think I'm not keen. I like Eze Munoz, maybe Sarr if you want to. But so I think that's why I quite like Watkins here, because that sort of leaves the space for a forward. And I don't like a lot of the other forward options as such. To start, perhaps on a bench boost, Visser, Evan Nilsson, the ones I've mentioned. And I've also gone for Bradley on this bench boost. So I've got Areola, Visser, Bowen and Bradley. Now, Bradley's away to Leicester, clean sheet potential. He got a clean sheet the weekend. It was taken off before Liverpool conceded, thankfully. And he was also on 3 bonus before he got taken off, which sort of cemented that 3 bonus. So 9-point return already. My own team, he is the bench boost king as far as I'm concerned. Keep him in your side there. My own bench boost was played in 32. Good on paper, like this one is, but middling to poor in reality. I went for Henderson, so I've still got a game left for him. So double game week goalkeeper. Lewis Dunk got me 0 points against Leicester, so could be Bradley there. And Asensio could have been a monster haul for him, but ended up with just 2 points because he just got that 1 assist. And of course Bradley, he's been my star though. So I've got double digits in my bench boost. I'll take that. But yeah, this one I really like. This is a good. I mean, I would have to the wild card into this. But I can't get to this team. But it's a good team. This is the one I would go for. I've got another one though, and this one is because eagle-eyed viewers would notice KDB. It looks back. He's playing without pain. He says so. He could be getting more starts. This is his final few games for City, so he could get more starts. He could be the guy. He could be a captaincy shout. So he's more for the Mavericks really. Those the sort of nostalgic. Pick, but he's a good, it's obviously a great player. So here's a version that I like less, and expected points 97 on this one, not including the bench boost. So this one is expected points 93, not including the bench boost. It's a bit lower. I've had to cut corners to get KDB in. I've had to cut corners there. So there's certain players I'm gonna just have to live without there. So for example, Bowen on that bench boost gone. So I've in order to get him, so to bump Bowen up to De Bruyne, I've cut corners elsewhere, and I've ended up with like 0.4 in the bank. But it's rating here. The last one was like 99%. No, this is 96%. So it's not as optimal according to the robots. Rate my team, and its expected points are a little bit lower, so I don't quite like it as much. But perhaps they're underestimating Kevin De Bruyne. Anyway, this team I've gone for a 3-5-2, but of course there's a bench as well, bench boost potential there. So I've gone for Raya in goal. He stays. Gvardiol, he stays. There's no Diaz because I've got removed Diaz and to sure I can get De Bruyne in as my 3-man City players. No Saliba, so Kiwior comes in there, so I save a bit of money there. I save $1.5 million, 2 million or so. Munoz stays. De Bruyne is in, as I said. Salah remains. Of course he does. He's playing his way to Leicester. Saka remains, obviously, because he's got a double game week and he's arguably the best captain, but maybe not. Eze can actually stay, but he can come down to Sarr if you wanted to boost Kiwior up to Saliba. Rodgers remains. He's pretty cheap anyway, 5.9. Watkins remains in this, which is quite good, and Marmoush remains. So you're not actually cutting too many corners here. So if you really want to get De Bruyne in, you're really looking at one less Man City defender, obviously, and getting Saliba out. And also your bench is weaker. So if you're bench boosting, De Bruyne's probably not the one I would go for because you want a better bench. But if you are not bench boosting, obviously you can spend a bit more on that bench. So there's no Bowen on my bench. So I've got Areola. He remains. He's really cheap, 4.2 as goalkeeper. Visser remains. He remains here, so I can afford him. Bradley remains. So far, pretty normal, but no Bowen. And I've had to go for an Aston Villa defender against Newcastle and Man City. So Consa's there. There's a possibility. I don't even know if he's going to get 2 starts as well. So that I've really weakened there. But the De Bruyne punt could pay off there. So they're both great. I think, if I went into both of these teams, this week with a bench boost, for example, as well, I'd be really, really happy. But I think I prefer this one with no bench boost, and I like the other one for bench boost because it's got Bowen as well. And the final slide I want to show you is the Rate My Team tool, which I mentioned. So I just looked at Gameweek 33, who's got the most expected points so far. This will obviously be updated as we get team news, any injury developments midweek. But I'm recording this on Tuesday morning. So this is what the robot thinks at the moment as well. So it says, so this is useful for the captaincy, I think. It says Saka's the best one, 11.95 points, so 12 points. The best one there. Really likes Arsenal's double game week. Odegaard's next, getting on for well over 9 points. Could be 10 points there for Odegaard. And Marmoush as well. So I personally don't like Odegaard for the captaincy. I think he could be a good player to get in. It's just a bit costly. So I think for me, personally, it's between Saka and Marmoush. And that's the same with all the other free hit teams I've shown you, the best play with the best picks in. I think Saka, Marmoush will be the ones. I think that Salah, who also is expected to do well, get 8 points. And Salah is the first non-double game week player mentioned here. So I think he's strong as well. He thinks Raya's going to get more. I always say I'm going to capture a goalkeeper in a double game week. I never do, and they always end up with the highest score. Saliba as well. So he really likes the Arsenal side here. So Saliba and Raya, they do well. Salah looks good for the captaincy. Then you've got Gvardiol. Watkins, he could be an outside pump for the captaincy as well. Mateta's in there, but I didn't like those comments about not being, a player like Mateta not being good at winning duels and being hooked. And then, Nketiah's available, can play there. Yeah, I'm not... I've gone off a bit. Having said that, he could do really well this week. You could be watching this after the Newcastle game, and they could have done really well there. So we've got Savinho in the mix as well. I don't think he's going to get the starts. Timber, Mourinho, other names here. So I've got about 25 names. I'm not going to list them all out. So if you're listening to the podcast version, do try and have a look at the video if you can. Or if you're a member, just have a look in the Rate My Team tool as well. But some of the other names here, it's about 25, 26 names I've got here. And this will be the core of the players you'll get in. Asensio's in there. Expected to get 5.5 points. Bowen as well. 5.7 points. Bruno Fernandes as well. Could be a good shout. Ruben Diaz is in there. Rodgers, as I said. Henderson. Likes of Trossard, Martinelli. These are sort of Mourinho. These are the sorts of players that could get you returns but might not. I don't know whether they're going to start as well. But yeah, captaincy. Saka, Marmoush, Salah, KDB if you're a Maverick. So whatever you decide to do this week, good luck with your decisions. Good luck with the game week. I'll be back again next week I'll be back during the week with other videos as well. FPL General Show, team news, but I'll also be back ahead of Game Week 34 when I myself will be free hitting. So I'll get the chance to show you my free hit team because it'll be the free hit team I do for these types of videos every week. Okay, take care. See you soon.